You're listening to RTI Audio, powered by Rocky Top Insider. This is Pancakes and Bacon with VFL, Kyler Kerbyson, and Reed Bacon.
Hello, Vol Nation. Welcome to another episode of Pancakes and Bacon. I'm your host, as always, Kyler Kerbyson, joined with Reed Bacon. Have a great podcast today. We are breaking down our new quarterback commit, Jake Merklinger. Looking at his film, sharing with you guys what we saw of it. It really impresses us and why we're excited for him to get on campus. It's going to be great. Before we get into that, if you guys are watching, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. If you're just listening, rate and review, download and re-download. Follow us on all those platforms. It helps us and helps with the numbers so much. Also, follow us on social media at Pancakes and Bacon on Twitter, at rbacon26 for Reed, at Kyler Kerbyson for myself on all social medias. But yeah, just really appreciate you guys. So let's jump into the podcast. All right, welcome in, everybody. Have a great podcast for you. We are breaking down some film on a recent recruit today. We're not going to get into a bunch of semantics, but before we get into film breakdown and what we saw out of the guy, Reed, how we doing, bud?
Kyler, you studly beautiful man, you. Welcome to episode 2 of Pancakes and Bacon.
That's right. That is Don't worry, I'll be putting that in the beginning. Don't you?
I know.
You do that.
No, I know. I was just joking. I was being you. Check out my new RTI swag, bro. Look at that.
Look at that guy.
Extra large.
Yeah.
We have our Pancakes and Bacon group text with you and I and Johnny O and Double B, and then Rick and Ryan and Jack, and John sent that he had the new swag, and I was like, bro, I really want to get it for the next pod. This is our second one. And I didn't want to bother him, but he was like, yeah, no, I got him at the house. So Megan and I went to Chesapeake's for a nice Lenten meal on Friday, and I texted John separate. He's like, bro, come on by. So went by old Johnny O's house, picked up the swag, hung out and talked with him, which he's hilarious. He was cracking us up. But I got this and immediately came home, tried it on. Beautiful Peter Millar golf polo. And then we also have a pull. Yeah, this is polo. We have a pullover. I have your stuff with you. So if you're a good boy, when you come in for the spring game and for Josh Dobbs' golf tournament, then maybe you get to wear yours. If not,
only if I'm a good boy.
Yeah, I might consider keeping it, so I have 4. But yeah, no, it's been a great weekend. Let's dive in and talk about Jake the Snake Merklinger. Is that how you say it?
Merk is what I mean. There's a K.
Merk, yeah, boy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was leading to. I was like, I cannot wait to say, like, we just murked your ass. Yeah. Like, whenever we beat South Carolina and Kentucky in, like, 4 years.
When Jake's at the helm.
Yeah, it's just to add a little bit to it. And it's like why I like him as a recruit even more. It's like, oh, you got a nice football name.
This is let me read off. So I'm on Rivals today. You know, I switch around. Jake the Snake here, pro style, slightly misleading, by the way, that he's a pro style. Maybe get the little eye emojis for stuff to come. No, listen, so he's 6'3", 195, Savannah, Georgia. He's 94th nationally, so he's a top 100 player. He's top 12 in the state of Georgia, which is an absolute, just hotbed.
I mean, Georgia is so stacked with talent, it's ridiculous. It's a reason why Kirby's where he's at right now with that program.
Facts. And he's 7th for his position, and that has the 2 little green arrows pointing up. Obviously, we know that I love going to the offer list, and he's got basically everybody. So he's got Tennessee, Arkansas, Austin Peay, Auburn, Boston College, Cincy, Coastal Carolina, Duke, Florida, Georgia, Georgia Southern, Georgia Tech, Iowa State. I'm going to skip a couple. Miami, Michigan, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, North Carolina State, Pitt. I'm going to skip some. And then Clemson and Notre Dame. Actually, Clemson and Notre Dame are on the list. He took 2 visits to Notre Dame and 2 visits to Clemson. It says he didn't get an offer. Listen, I don't know if that's because they knew he was going elsewhere, but they obviously invited the young man up there twice. He took 2 visits to North Carolina. He took 5 visits to Michigan State. He took 3 to Georgia, and he took 2 to Florida. Tennessee's, as of right now, until it changes, is still in the SEC East. So the fact that obviously Florida brought him twice, Georgia brought him 3 times. He's an in-state kid for Georgia, and we get him. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little hot take, Kyler.
Shoot.
I don't necessarily love or get as excited for quarterbacks as other people do, and especially breaking down their film, because I feel like a lot of times, sometimes the quarterback films can all look a lot. I mean, just dropping dimes, throwing deep ball, hit a post, hit a deep corner, hit a go route. And so sometimes I'd rather watch like a safety or a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman or maybe a running back. But I really, really like Jake's film a lot. And I'm going to start doing
it. You feel like that because hitting those corner routes or hitting a post or hitting a deep ball, like you're not necessarily seeing technique out of him. It's just like, oh, he threw a good ball here. And then
I think
sometimes those are a little bit misleading because you don't know what actually happened in the game. You don't know if he had like 3 or 4 picks that game. You're just like, oh, wow, that was one good throw. But say he threw it 30 times, like having 1 out of 30 is not necessarily giving you all you got. So I kind of understand where you're coming from, where like if you're watching a DB or a defensive lineman, which is probably your favorite, you get to see the technique. You see his hand punch. You see his working with his arm. You see his hips turn. You see his feet move. So I think that part of it is like a little bit more intriguing from a film study standpoint.
So yeah, a little bit in a way, and I'll keep this very, very quick so we can just start talking about the film. If I really wanted to, I would just go and check the highlights or not the highlights. I would just check his stats for different stuff. And usually I do that. Sometimes I don't, because it's like all these high school guys that are 4-star, 5-star, 3-stars. I mean, usually their production is off the chart. So every once in a while I'll go look at it just for fun, see, oh, he had 120 plus tackles, or he threw for 6,000 yards, whatever the crazy thing is for a season or for their career. But I think for me, it's more of just like, it's just I've seen so much. Like I can see so many deep bombs, whether you're a receiver just running under and catching. That's why, like a Squirrel White, when we watched his film back in the day, like I loved it because he was doing so many different things. Same thing with Chaz Nimrod. He gave me so many different things when he was coming out as a receiver. So what I did is I said, okay, like I'm going to start watching the whole film through, and then I'm going to go back and watch it and take notes. And I really, really like some of the stuff that Jake brought to the table. I'll let you go ahead first, and then I'm going to go down my notes and kind of hit some of my favorite plays. And obviously we're probably going to have a lot of the same, because I only watched his junior. I'm assuming you only watched his junior.
Yeah, that's what I watched too. The most updated one. Wanted to watch the junior. 6'3", 195 for Jake. The first thing that you notice in his film, his touch and his ability to kind of throw a very catchable ball. Like it does not feel like the guys are struggling to find it. They're trying to reach for it. Doesn't feel like it's smacking their hands when he throws it. It's very much like, oh, that was perfect, right in the breadbasket. And he has a ton of those. Now, there wasn't many that were like, here's a 60-yarder, here's a deep, deep, deep throw. 40, maybe push to 50, but that wasn't really a concern to me that there wasn't more of those. It's like, if your guy's open at 30 yards, why in the hell would you wait for him to be open at 50? Like, it doesn't
send it.
Get him the ball. I liked the type of offense he ran too. The single back, single tight end, multiple receivers, and they got in motion from the boundaries. They got in play action. They were hitting guys in different spots. They got him rolling out and throwing the ball. Also had him running option plays with his running back, so he gets the ball. This is all things that Heupel has in his offense. It's all things that Jake himself has to make the decision. I think that's one of the hardest parts about a quarterback position, especially in a spread offense like this, a RPO offense like this. It's when do you hand that ball off? When do you take the ball yourself? And when do you throw it? A quarterback in Hendon, who did it amazing last year, has to make that decision like that. They have to determine, I'm going to go one of those three ways in about a half second. So him just kind of already being put in that scenario in his high school offense definitely is a good sign moving forward. Now, that's not to say he's going to come in here and be Hendon Hooker first day. But some of the other stuff, like I thought he was pretty athletic and pretty quick for him. Like I didn't necessarily expect like a little bit of speed out of him. He stands tall in the pocket, does not care if he gets hit. He wants to complete that ball. Some of the rollouts he had, I thought was pretty impressive. Like his touch and his ability to get the ball to guys while on the run, his ability to make things happen. There's a play towards the end where he's spinning, getting out of tackles, rolling to his right, throws back across a guy running left. And it's like, you don't see that out of a lot of quarterbacks, like that ability. And there was one, he's rolling to his left. He literally is running backwards by the time he throws the ball just to get his shoulders square for the throw. Like that is incredible. Like the athleticism to stay up, gets hit right in the chest as he's letting it go. I very much enjoyed his film. I'm not going to say that he is the most athletic and best quarterback I've ever seen out of a high school tape, but damn, he's solid. I like the way he moves. I like the balls he throws. He's got 36 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I mean, that's a good sign. That's a really good sign for him. I mean, that's kind of the Heupel offense we want. Make the right decision at the right time. Run it if you need to. You don't have to be super athletic, but athletic enough in this offense. So I liked this film. Like I said, I'm not going to say like I'm more impressed with him than I was with Nico, but this is a very solid get. I think he plays well again his senior year. He can be bumped to a 5-star, like very, very possible, especially in Georgia. Like I just said, he's got some of the most competition in the country playing in Savannah, Georgia.
Mm-hmm. So I agree with a lot of what you said. I like this film a lot. Like, going into it, already stating, hey, that sometimes quarterback film can just be a little routine, a little boring. And so now I go into it watching like, yeah, show me some of those deep balls, those good highlights. Let's see that placement. Let's see that touch. And I agree. I wrote the exact same thing down. I thought he did throw a nice deep ball and he had a nice touch. And it was very much like, all right, I'm running a breadbasket. They're not stopping for it. They're not having to go up and high point it. They're not having to lunge for it. His guys are continuing in stride. So it's great to see. Yep. It's funny that you talk about his offense because I did feel like a lot of the times I was watching a Heupel type offense. The only throws that I did not see from him that I would have liked to have seen that would translate to the Tennessee offense is some digs and some of those comeback routes, like comeback / hitch. I mean, all of his stuffs were deep goes, post, corner. Like they had like a little corner route, but it was like almost a mixture of a corner and an out route because it wasn't so defined. It was kind of more of like a bend, and he would throw to a spot. I will say his receivers looked awesome. His receivers looked really good.
Their ability to get open was pretty incredible too.
I thought they caught with their hands well. I thought they were good after the catch. They looked athletic. I think I don't know if that's just a big receiver, that tight end that they have, number 2. That kid's a dog too. He looked like he had some really nice catches. But yeah, a lot of his stuff was like they had some seam routes. I would have liked it. I would have liked to have seen, like I said, a couple digs here and there, or a couple comebacks, because those are, we use those a lot in Heupel's offense, and they are very important because they're a long throw. Those are the throws that can be picked off pretty easily. But I'm just giving an example of, I like the film a lot. If I could have seen those things, I probably would have been in love with it, because everything else you see, I think he's awesome with. My favorite thing is what you said. For a kid his age to stand in a pocket and know he's going to get hit and just delivers a ball was super impressive to me, because you see a lot of high school kids that have his talent. They're going to take one more step back and try to sling it. And this kid's like, F it. Like, I'm going to stand here. I'm going to deliver a strike, even with a guy in my face. I mean, so go to the 37-second mark. It's one of my, I got a couple plays here that I love. 37-second mark. So it's probably like the third play. It's a play action. He sidesteps, he sets his feet, and he delivers a strike while getting hit. And it's pressure in the face. So it's not like he's getting pressure from behind and he doesn't see it coming, or even from this way. I mean, this is coming right up, alleyway number one.
He knows he's getting hit in the chest, and he does not. He's like, I'd rather give up the chest and get a touchdown.
Right. And then, I've already said nice placement, accuracies on some of those deep outs and corner routes, and that's not an easy throw. And so he does
it's
a good.
Not. There's one that it feels like he's throwing across the field all the way to like the pylon, that corner pylon. That was because he's right-handed too. He's throwing it to his left. It's across the body. Like, I'm like, oh wow. The touch that he has isn't like that is his best attribute. It's crazy.
Yeah. Eyes downfield is another thing that I really, really like to see out of a high school guy is, hey, I'm gonna drop back and I'm not gonna just look for my one read or my first and second read and then hit it. And he kept his eyes downfield. So 104, 1 minute, 4 seconds is probably my favorite play. And I say that jokingly because it's the one that it was the come in motion. You want to call it a play action jet sweep. And then he, what'd you guys call that with Dobbs back in the day? Like a midline keeper, or was that just
Yeah, I don't necessarily know how we described it as a play, because as an offensive line, we ran it as counter or power. That's what we.
So this is so it's almost like a quarterback power. He's faking the jet sweep and then just coming right up power. So I jokingly say it was my favorite play because it says he's a pro style quarterback. I'm 4 or 5 clips in and I see this kid take off. I'm like, Heupel does not need a mobile quarterback, but darn it, it helps a lot. We just had the conversation about it a week ago when we went to practice, and I said, or the night before when you came in before we went to practice, I said, rewatching that Alabama game and thinking about it, like, I really hope Joe runs, because a lot of the off schedule making something happen that Hendon did, and then the also designed run, it's a huge, huge piece of this offense. Mm-hmm. So to see that he is more than capable of doing that, I love to see that. And he took off and house called it. You go to the 126 mark. This is a ridiculous play. He's going to his left. He's right-handed, so he's coming, he's throwing like across his body, and he's got the pressure, coming in his face. So this is another one. He's getting away. And for a high school kid to be able to come across, make the throw, and he's not throwing it 40 yards downfield, but it was a good probably 25, 30, 35 yards. He throws a great ball. And to be able to running left, pressure coming, he's kind of running away / back. It was a great ball, great touch, great accuracy. Then come down, it's the very, very next play. And it's the 132 mark, and he makes a free rusher miss. There are so many times in college football, and you guys know it with Tennessee that we do it all the time. We bring that star position, we bring the guy off the edge. And I always talk about how you got to come under control. Well, this guy comes off, and Jake makes him miss. Not only does he make him miss, he makes a miss, steps up in the pocket, gets out to the right side, keeps his eyes downfield, makes a great play.
And for those people who don't necessarily understand how important that is to make that free runner miss, I want to give you a name real quick. You just think about it. You just think about this name real quick, and then tell me how important it is. Jarrett Garantano. And then tell me how important that is. He could never, ever get out of a free rushing guy. ever. That guy, Jarrett, was going down, no matter what. He was not going to escape that first tackle. And that is why you can see the importance of, oh, wow, he has that ability. He can actually do that.
Let's not let JG catch strays. He's been gone for a while. Poor guy, had his ups and downs. He gave his body up. But yes, making a free rusher miss is so, so vital. You see the best of the best do it in college, and then obviously in the NFL, whether it's, Patty Mahomes, Josh Allen, sexy Joe Burrow, my guy, Aaron Rodgers, even Peyton and Tom, like the greats of the greats. Like they can't move faster than my mom, but they can make a first guy miss by sidestep or whatever. So to see him do that, but not only did he make the free rusher miss, but he keeps his eyes downfield, gets out of the pocket, delivers a strike, and then come all the way down to 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And it's so some people probably already turned the highlight tape off because we always joke that coaches watch like the first 45 seconds and they're done. 3 minutes, he breaks a sack, he gets out of the pocket, eyes downfield, and then he throws, it is like a little Patty Mahomes across his body. So he breaks a sack, steps on the pocket, gets right, and throws it back to a guy coming across his face. And I was very impressed with that. He just seems, he has like that perfect amount of calm, cool, collective swag, but he gets a little fiery. Like I loved when he dove for the end zone, and, you could see he's got that little bit of, fieriness to him, which I like that out of a quarterback. I like my quarterback to be calm, cool, and collected, but if they do something, I like to see a little emotion. I need a little bit. And so I was very impressed. As a quarterback highlight film, I was very impressed. Like I said, the only thing that I would have liked to have seen is a couple dig routes. I don't even think I saw any really slant routes from them, and that's fine. I mean, I was very impressed with their offense. I mean, I thought they were moving it very well, and
I mean they averaged like 46 points a game. So like
they
were doing all right.
More than all right. So yeah, those are the only throws I didn't see. A hitch or like an actual deep out, and then a dig. I would have liked to see those, but I have very much faith into seeing the other stuff I've seen that Jake can deliver those with no problem. So I was very happy with his film.
Yeah, I was too. I'm very excited for when he gets here and seeing him more, being able to see him at practice. If he stays committed now, sometimes people make their decisions. And I really want to tell people that we murked their ass with Jake being here. So I'm very excited for him too.
Can you just, Jake just drops back, got a free rusher coming, some guy from Georgia. He just shakes and it's like, Merk on you.
How incredible would it be if he's like in Neyland and he just, and then you hear the whole crowd just go, Merk!
Yeah, seriously though. Good pod, brother.
All right, man. All right. Thank you guys for watching and listening. If you are watching, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And leave a comment. We love answering the comments on YouTube. If you're just listening, rate and review, download and re-download. Follow us on those pages, whether you're on Apple, on Spotify, wherever. Make sure you're checking out the RTI.com website. That's where you can get everything Tennessee athletics. It's not just football. It's not just basketball. It's everything. Talk about everything. So make sure and check it out over there. Also follow us on social media at Pancakes and Bacon on Twitter, at rbacon26reed, at Kyler Kerbison for myself on all social medias. So appreciate those follows. And thank you guys. Thank you for all the new people we have now who have started following us this week since we joined RTI. And then thank you for all the loyal listeners and watchers who have been with us for a long time. You guys are the reasons why we do this. So just appreciate you so much. And as always, go Vols.
You're listening to RTI Audio, powered by Rocky Top Insider.